Hi guys, I'm back. This is Nils. Today I'm going to show you how to set up the remote control switches to control this Logic session for your live show via a foot switch, and how to make Logic jump to different songs by itself. Now this is going to be a little bit more involved as far as deep diving into Logic, but don't worry, I'm going to hold your hand. And I'm also going to offer a download at the end of this episode where you can download a blank session from me, and that saves you a lot of these steps and make it a little easier. But I do want to show you this step by step how to do this from scratch. So let's get started. All right, let's dive into it. The first thing I want to set up is the foot switch. For start and play. I'm using this little foot switch right here. Any foot switch will do. You could use any other switch if you're not a guitar player and have your hands free. You could use a keyboard, anything that has a MIDI out that we can get control data to Logic. Logic can route any MIDI information into a command. This is done by the key command menu, and I'll show you this right here. If you go open up key commands, go to edit, and the first one I want to set up is play or stop. If you can see it right now, go to play or stop. Play or stop is right here, which is the regular thing that we get Logic to play or stop. We usually use the spacebar on the computer. If you don't want to run over the computer and want to use a foot switch, we're going to go here, learn new assignment, press the foot switch, and there you go. It learned the assignment for play or stop. Now, while I'm here, I also want to program two more commands right away. Locator, I find them the easiest if I just type in locator. The commands are called set locator by next marker and enable cycle and previous marker. Now, the next marker and enable cycle, this will enable us with a foot switch to make Logic move on to the next loop. We do it the same way. We do learn new assignment. It's waiting for a message, and as soon as I press that foot switch, now make sure you're not pressing the same foot switch I pressed before. So you're pressing the next one, and it will learn this assignment. The same for the previous. I already have them in here, but I can show you if I would delete these. Learn new assignment. This is going to be my foot switch for the previous go back one. Now I have that in case by accident I press the button twice and I've gone too far and I want to go one back. So I can just move the loops in both directions. So let's check this out in use. I'm going to start the song by pressing my play button. Logic's going to jump to the first cycle loop, and it's going to do that by itself. I'm going to show you that in a minute. That's with this switch. And it basically is going to wait for me with this intro that it's going to keep repeating as long as I like. We can get into the song, we can jam a little bit until everybody is up and ready to go, and then I'm gonna press the button for going on to the next loop, and you see what happened. It jumped over all the way to the solo section. The song moves on, and right here, verse. You see how these different colored regions are coming, really helpful, so I can cue the band when the next section is coming up. And then let me just move ahead, just get caught in at the solo again, and the solo is going to repeat over and over, and as long as I want to play, I can go out in the audience. I don't have to call, don't have to count bars. We can trade solos, we can do whatever we want. When I'm done, I press the button again and it jumps actually past into the next region, which would be the next song. However, let me open this up, and you're going to see that before it reaches the next song, Logic's going to hit this little area with these two little switches, and those switches enable me to change the set list, go to different songs, not necessarily the next song in the session. Now to create these go to and stop switches, all we have to do, I'm going to show you right now, is create a new MIDI track. And we could use external MIDI, internal MIDI. We don't need an instrument plugged in. We just need to create some kind of MIDI track. Doesn't MIDI channel, nothing matters. Because what we are going to do, we're going to create meta events. To do that, we're going to switch to our pencil tool and create a MIDI region. Escape gets me the toolbox back, and here is this little MIDI region. Within this MIDI region, now we're going to create a meta event just by going in here, and here where it says notes, you can switch this to meta event. And we are going to create a new meta event. All right, now there are different types of meta events available in Logic. Some have to do with notation. In our events, we want to have control, and the ones we want is stop playback right here. I don't know why it keeps switching away after you do that, but hey, we'll find you again. Here we are. And we're going to create another one that is going to be go to marker. All right. Now I just need to make sure that they're both at the same time, that both are right at the same position. Stop, the value doesn't really matter, but go to marker is going to be the marker that we're going to go to. So my previous marker, let me see, what's the next marker, would be 7. If I set this up to 7, it will stop, and then it will jump to marker 7. And that's exactly what it sees. It stopped playback and lined up right 7 as soon as it hits that marker. Now I can usually place that after the song when we're done playing. This way I can, with this number, editing this number will let me edit the song that we're going to next. Now I do want to separate them, and that's easily done by just making a duplicate track. And I just duplicate this down. I'm gonna call one go to, the other one is being called stop. And then in the go to, I'm gonna delete the stop playback event, and then in the stop, go in here, I'm gonna delete this event. So here is a go to marker and here's a stop marker. I have them separate because sometimes I might want Logic, let me mute these here, want my Logic to not stop but to go right into the next song, in which case I could just mute the stop, and at the end of the song, when the song is done, it will go right into the next song and starts playing. As you can hear right there. And if I have this unmuted, then the same thing will happen, but it will stop and wait for me to press play on my foot switch for it to start, right? Now with these switches in place after each song, I can easily change my set list. Let's say we want to, after this song, want to jump all the way over to this song. I don't want to move the session files, stuff could slip, automation, everything. No, I want to leave everything in place as it is. I just want Logic to move over here. So that's why these marker numbers, as I mentioned earlier, that the double pound, that Logic automatically numbers the markers, are important. So over here, let's say, what song is this? This would be Pacific Coast Highway over there. And I would like to go from Summer Nights to this version of Pacific Coast Highway. So I'm selecting my go-to marker, going to edit, and just change this to position 60. If I have this follow enabled, you will see it will automatically follow. Then after Pacific Coast Highway, I want to go to Let's Bounce. Yeah, let's go to Let's Bounce. Up too far, that would be marker 25. And then from Let's Bounce, the next song on my set list, let's say, is Catnap. Catnap, I just know it by heart by now. It's number 9. Up, where are we? Number 9. And so forth. You see how quickly I can change the set list, and the songs will line up. Logic will jump and line up the next song, wait for you to start playing. So the last switch we have to install is this little guy over here. I'll show you what it does. When it presses this switch, it will automatically make Logic jump to the next enabled cycle section. Without it, here's what can happen. You press play, drummer counts in the song, you're having a great time, you're getting everybody up and dancing. It's the intro, but instead of going to a cycle section in the introduction, Logic all of a sudden jumps right back to the count off, because you forgot to advance the loop to the next section. And we're all liable to forget about that. I've done it so many times. I mean, I know I'm a space cadet when I'm on stage, so I want to make it easy. I want Logic to do that automatically for me. And to do so, we have to create an IAC channel, which enables Logic to send MIDI commands to itself. This is done in the operating system. We need to go to Applications, Utility, and we're going to use this audio MIDI setup. There's a little utility program that every Mac has. It's part of the operating system. It has 2 parts: the audio part, which we don't need right now. We're going to look at the MIDI Studio part of this. And you see over here is an AIC driver. If you never enabled it, it might be grayed out. No problem. You double click and click the check mark. Make sure it's online. And then if there's nothing in here, you might have to click on the plus sign and create one bus. That's all we need. I leave it on MIDI channel 1 and in and out. It's basically a MIDI interface that transmits MIDI channel in and MIDI channel out. That's all that has to be done over here. Once this is all set up and the check mark is applied, you just click apply and we are good. Then we're going to go into Logic and set it up in there. Now with the IAC in place, we're going to create a track that has this as a MIDI channel selected. One easy way of doing it is just open the environment. I know people dread it, but it's actually fairly easy. Go to Open MIDI Environment, Apple 8. You go to the layer that says Clicks and Ports. You create a new MIDI instrument, and that instrument you select port that newly available IAC driver. You can name it IAC, which I already did down here, so I'm not going to do it again. So, and that's all there's to it. Now, back over here, we're creating a new MIDI track, and again, that doesn't really matter what it is. I can create any kind of MIDI track. Let's create a new external MIDI, and it already gives you that option now as a for that bus. I create it. It says grand piano, but I can reassign it to IAC, so that's my track. And now anything on this placed on this track, which is a duplication of this track right here, will send MIDI information out of Logic back into Logic. And then all I have to do is make Logic learn what to do when it receives that MIDI information. So the MIDI information in question, I just created a MIDI note like in high, it's E8, could be anything, high note up on the register right here. You can pencil one in, just use the pencil tool, put a note in, It doesn't matter, we're not triggering any audio with this. I usually use one that's out of the way, so it's not going to be hit by accident. Could be one way on the left of the keyboard, like the lowest note or the highest note on the keyboard you find, and it's just going to be a MIDI note, right? The command that we wanted to execute is the go to the next loop and enable cycle. So we're doing this again in our key commands. Edit, set locator by next marker and enable cycle. That's the key command. So we're going to learn new assignment. Now there's one little thing I need to mention. Pressing stop and or play is already a key command in Logic. So if you learn waiting for the assignment and then press play, it will take that as the key command, which is not what we want. So you gotta play first, then press learn new assignment and wait for it. And you see, as soon as it's gonna cross that new MIDI note, it's gonna learn it as a new command. And there it is. You saw it just change right there. And that new assignment is learned. So now Logic will, every time it encounters this note IAC track, automatically, as you see, make the loop advance to the next cycle section. And from there on, I'm going to take over with my foot switch, but I won't be in danger forgetting pressing the foot switch manually after pressing start and stop. So only press start, and Logic does the next step for me. And it saved me so many countless times from being embarrassed having the song jump all the way back to the beginning. It's a very helpful one. So as mentioned, I am making a Logic session available for you for download on my website. So the link is right here. This basically takes some of the work out of the process. If you want to take that shortcut, you can find it right there. I have one more episode to do for you guys, talking about the mixing and routing aspect, as well as give you some tips for creative ideas, and also discussing some of the pitfalls that you might encounter on how to remedy problems you might have with this. Until then, this is Nils. Take care. I'll see you on the next episode.